Hey, what's up everybody? In this video I'm going to explain why this happened. Most of you probably know me from doing Star Wars Legion content, especially through the video Should You Play Star Wars Legion? In that video I was just getting back into the game and got excited because a couple of games that me and my buddy Rick played in the weeks before the video. In this period I started to look at how to expand my Rebel core box army, and I tried out different lists and watched hundreds of YouTube videos. It was the perfect time for me to do a Should You Play Star Wars Legion video because I wanted to catch my enthusiasm in a video so I could get more people into this amazing game. With new games I call this the honeymoon With new games, I call this the honeymoon phase, where you are at the peak of your excitement over a new game. The reason that I'm making this video right now is because I am in the same honeymoon phase, but with a different lover. X-Wing. The difference between this and Legion is that I barely played a full game, but I did make a video about the announcement that AMG had about dropping development on this game. The video required me to do lots of research on both the community and the game itself, and that's when I got intrigued and this happened.
Oh goddamn. Phoenix Cell, Rebel Alliance, and the YT2400, yes.
So why did I want to start playing this game so badly? Since this video is geared towards beginners, let me start off by explaining what X-Wing is. X-Wing the Minatures game is a dogfighting game where you'll fly X-Wings, TIE fighters and much more. But it's not only the small fighter ships that make an appearance though. The crown of my collection so far is this awesome Millennium Falcon. You might recall me talking about the land speeder in Star Wars Legion and how I like that the pilot has a major impact on the gameplay. Well, X-Wing is built on this principle. There's different pilots available to the same ships. We have most of the aces from the movies to pilot an X-Wing, but also a couple lesser known characters are able to take seat and fly and shoot your way to victory. You'll do this by outsmarting your opponent with a whole arsenal of available movement tools. You can bank right, hard turn left, make barrel rolls, make crazy K-turns and get your opponent into your firing arc to ultimately rain hell upon them. It is a game of strategic positioning, bluffing, and managing your ship's resources. Those crazy red maneuvers that you'll do, it will stress out your pilot in a way that they cannot use their actions. You'll have to get rid of that stress by performing an easier blue movement the next turn. Attacking and defending is done using the specialty dice. When you shoot, you can hit, critical hit, roll a focus or roll a blank. A successful hit will cause damage depicted on these damage cards. When you score a successful critical hit, your opponent turns the damage card face up. And this will show what effect the critical damage has on your ship. You could suffer a fuel leak, a blinded pilot or an engine failure, just to name a few. The defender has a chance to negate all or some of these shots by rolling green dice equal to this statistic. For both attacking and defending, if you happen to use a focus action, you'll get to change focus results into hits or evades. I feel that this is one of those games that is really easy to get into but difficult to master. And believe me when I say that a bigger ship like the Millennium Falcon can be quite hard to pilot alongside of the edges of the board. If you leave the board by the tiniest bit of your base, you're done. It is removed from play. But how do you pilot smaller ships like the X-Wings or the A-Wings? A Discord community member tipped me to learn about formation flying. Man, doesn't that sound super cool? Formation flying. There are specific turns that will keep you in formation, but it's not necessarily the same turn. When you turn in for a move 1 with ship A, ship B has to perform a move 3 turn to stay in formation. Or what about switching formations from a box formation to a fan death bloom formation? Imagine how handy this is when an enemy ship is trying to escape. You'll fan out in a formation that makes it more likely that your enemy will be in one of the firing arcs at least. And it all seems quite logical when you talk about it like this, but in my first few games I didn't really think about these things. I feel that a good practice after you unbox your ships is to just take them out for a spin. See how they fly, when you'll stress them, and how to get rid of that stress and practice formation flying. And talking about unboxing and getting into the game, this is one of the easiest and cheapest miniatures games you can get into. And absolutely the perfect way to do so is to get this starter box. It comes with 1 X-Wing, 2 TIE Fighters, tokens, obstacles, movement tools, dials, dice, and all kinds of cards. As always with AMG games though, you're going to need to buy more dice. But you get 3 of each color in this box. And you could very well leave it there. Treat this as a single box board game to take out every now and then. Play with your kids, with your lover, with your buddies. And when I bought this box, I had the same idea. Just, it was for the video and I was like, okay, I'll just leave it at that. But then I sensed the same sense of enthusiasm that I had. It started to grow on my buddy Rick. We started sharing links to products, and before I knew it, we both had a pretty sizable fleet of ships in the shopping cart. So here's what I got for the Rebel Alliance. The Rebel Alliance starter is a great way to expand your core box, if you're going for Rebels of course. It comes with an X-Wing, 2 A-Wings and a Y-Wing. Apart from that, I managed to pick up the Millennium Falcon, this awesome YT-2400, and the Phoenix Cell box, which contains a B-Wing and 2 more A-Wings that come with cards for Ahsoka Tano and Sabine Wren, for example. And I now have plenty of ships to play this game for years to come. And talking about the models itself, they make great display pieces. The details are amazing and some can actually transform a little bit. The X-Wing S-foils open and close like they do in the game. This B-Wing can rotate its entire hull, cockpit and extend its wings, and the Falcon's discs moves in a couple of directions. And I was on the fence on them being pre-painted at first, but the fact that you can open a box and start flying these beautiful models lowers the barrier of entry of this game even more. It can be really daunting to get yourself a box of miniatures and you know that you're going to spend hours cleaning them, assembling them, priming them and painting them. So yeah, overall X-Wing is quite easy to get into. Not to mention that setup is very quick. Me and Rick both love Star Wars Legion, but X-Wing is one of those games that I can see us playing if we don't have a lot of time to set up an entire table. If you don't want to commit to any physical models just yet, there is a free piece of software out there called FlyCasual. It is similar to Tabletop Simulator, but it is exclusive to X-Wing, and the link is in the description below. I'm actually planning to do some live streams with this software just to really get to know the game of X-Wing, learn all the ins and outs. So if you're interested to learn the game with me, just subscribe to the channel and maybe while you're at it, check out the Discord. It is completely free and we have a nice, growing and active community of tabletop gamers with wide interest from Star Wars Legion to Blood Bowl and just miniature painting in general. But back to the subject at hand, I mentioned that this game was dropped by its developer Atomic Mass Games, so there is a few things to consider before getting into it. One of the most important things is that these ships are now limited. And I'm not going to lie, the fear of missing out, FOMO, it struck me bad on this game. One of my first videos that I made was actually about the fear of missing out. I guess I didn't learn from it. On a more positive note though, I see people sell off the entire collections because of the news that, AMG dropped this game. So as it stands now, you're still able to get your hands on most of these products. And if you want to know more about why this game got dropped, I made an entire video about it. You can check it out right here. Another thing to consider is what version you want to play. From what I know, the game has seen 3 major releases over the past 10 years. And a good thing to know is that the 1.0 boxes come in this kind of gray silver tone, and the 2.0 boxes are all black. If you like the 1.0 ships but you want to play them in 2.0, you're going to need to buy these 2.0 conversion kits that all factions have. It comes with different cardboard bases for your ships and new cards to get you playing 2.0. And then there's the 2.5 edition, which me and Rick decided to play since it was the latest. But just know there's plenty of 2.0 and I think even 1.0 players out there. And now that the community is taking over this game, it remains to be seen what version we're going to end up with. But I am ready for whatever is coming. Even though I only played a couple of games, I feel that this is a keeper to live alongside my favorite wargame of all time, Star Wars Legion. I highly recommend that anyone who remotely likes Star Wars to at least pick up this starter box. I mean, it is great value for any board game and you'll have tons of fun with this. But I'm going to warn you up front. A few games and you might end up like me. I hope to see you back in 2 weeks where I will talk about my latest Star Wars Legion skirmish list for my upcoming tournament. And for now, thanks so much for watching and I will see you guys later.